Versatile Mage. Chapter 393. Silver Skyrilla. The sky above West Fortress looked like a giant white net, the dense strings covering the space above the human defenders. Sharp claws collided with destructive spells in the sky, with sharp screeches and blasts echoing everywhere. The area within 10 kilometers around the fortress had turned into a battlefield. The human defenders were completely outnumbered by the white magic falcons. Even with every soldier of West Fortress joining the battle, they could at most form square bricks on the ground, and could only attack the white magic falcons that were flying relatively low from there. The battle was split into different levels. At the ground level, the basic and intermediate magicians were trying their best to distract the army of white magic falcons, so the birds would take the initiative to dive down and attack them. They had managed to kill quite a number of the white magic falcons with that strategy. The space above the fortress was the main area of the battle, where the advanced magicians who were capable of flying were fighting against the army of white magic falcons. Each advanced spell was capable of killing hundreds of servant-class demon beasts instantly with the destructive power. Even though the advanced magicians were significantly outnumbered, there was no sign of them losing the battle. As for the higher level among the clouds, that was where the real experts of the humans were battling against the four-clawed magic eagles. Be it the commander-level four-clawed magic eagles, or the royal guard, commanders, or judges of the magic court from the human side, every death would result in a great impact to the tide of the battle. There were around 10 four-clawed magic eagles in total. Their size was comparable to the clouds nearby. Their four claws were strong enough to shatter a whole mountain. Any one of them was enough to pose a great threat to a small city, let alone 10. 10 four-clawed magic eagles floated above the clouds, like 10 pieces of clouds that had separated themselves from the sea of clouds below. Their icy gazes were staring at the tiny humans who were also floating in the sky. The servant class and warrior level white magic falcons had no chance of reaching this height, as the strong gusts and cold temperature were unbearable to them. The four-clawed magic eagles did not fight against their enemies separately. They were maintaining a triangular formation, covering a huge space. At an even greater height, right at the center of the formation, a gigantic falcon with silver-colored feathers hovered at the center of the commander-level demon beasts. The feathers of this gigantic falcon were different from the rest of the white magic falcons. Its perfect silver feathers thoroughly displayed its nobility. The flickers on the surfaces of its feathers served as a clear indication that the feathers were sharper than a steel blade. The gigantic falcon's head was the size of a room. The tufts on its head were standing upright, like a silver crown spreading in a fan. Its proud eyes were inspecting the humans who were trying to stop it with great interest. It was utterly superior, not showing any concern that it was flying in human territory. The 10 four-clawed magic eagles that were escorting it could easily clear all the obstacles along the way, let alone the few tens of thousands lesser falcons below. Is that the Silver Skyrilla? Exclaimed Elder Li Tian in astonishment. What else could possibly be escorted by 10 commander-level four-clawed magic eagles? Replied Tang Jung with a stern look. Silver Skyrilla. It had always been the dominator of the sky at West Ridge. The white magic falcons that were the civilians of its kingdom alone were enough to form a giant cloud that could shroud the sun. West Fortress was not solely established to defend against the white magic falcons residing at West Ridge. The truth was, the white magic falcons had not attacked the humans for a very long time, thus the humans did not put too much attention on them. They had no idea that they had grown to such a terrifying scale, or that the strongest Silver Skyrilla even had 10 commander-level demon beasts as its escorts. A commander-level demon beast was strong enough to be considered a boss by humans. Exactly how powerful was the Silver Skyrilla to freely command them? We'll have to deal with the 10 escorts before focusing on the Silver Skyrilla. Councilman Zhu Meng's voice entered the ears of the magicians. I'm afraid we won't have much energy left to stop the Silver Skyrilla. Frankly speaking, even all of us together could at most delay its advance, said General Yun Feng. We are left with no choice, let's kill a few of them. Otherwise, they will assume that they can come and go as they wish. A ferocious aura blossomed from Councilman Zhu Meng as he took off the noble robe he was wearing. Upon finishing his speech, the councilman had already charged toward the 10-4-clawed magic eagle, leaving a red trail of flame behind from his burning wings. The head of the royal guards, Wu Pingjing, immediately chased after the councilman with his 3 pairs of wind wings. Zhu Meng's strength is remarkable, exclaimed Li Qian. The royal guards were generally stronger than the people of the enforcement union. As the head of the royal guards, Wu Pingjing was already considered one of the strongest magicians, yet he still had trouble catching up to Councilman Zhu Meng. Even the auras of his elements were slightly weaker than those of Councilman Zhu Meng's, which was rather unbelievable. Let's target the escorts. We'll deal with the Silver Skyroller later, said Tang Jung. He immediately joined the battle. The battle between the experts was taking place high up in the sky. As for the space close to the ground, it was a bloodbath between the servant-class white magic falcons and the troops of human magicians. A fair distance away from the messy battlefield stood a blue forest. Among the trees there, a grey eagle which was slightly different from the rest of the white demon beasts was circulating in the sky above a rather spacious area. It was uttering furious screeches. Its cries resembled the sound of a flute, capable of traveling a far distance. However, the sound was fairly sharp, with a hint of sorrow. It was obvious that the grey eagle was a crossbreed. It was easily distinguished from the white magic falcons. Meanwhile, a group of white magic falcons was circling nearby, too. They seemed to have discovered a delicacy. Their eyes were fixed on the ground. The same sharp cry echoed in the woods, but the white magic falcons completely ignored it. One that was particularly hungry withdrew its wings and dived toward the corpse of a young man on the ground. The grey eagle uttered a furious cry. It used its body and slammed into the white magic falcon that was diving from the sky. It crashed into the ground and slid a great distance across the fallen leaves. The rest of the white magic falcons screeched when they saw the crossbreed protecting a human. The grey eagle stabilized itself and slowly landed before the motionless young man. It spread out its grey wings that were not fully grown yet to protect the youngster. It raised its head and stared at the white magic falcons in anger and firm determination. Its gaze was rather similar to that of its young master. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.